How the hell do we fuel this up? Nicely done. Excuse me, you can't pop that there, mate. Well, welcome back to collecting cars. Or should I say tanks, because today I'm out in this Alvis Sabre Light Tank. Just down there is Joe, who's driving and operating. This position I'm in here is for the gunner, and the captain would be sat there. When I met the boys this morning, they reminded me that this is roadworthy. And so here we are, out on the roads, on our way to Sainsbury's, of all places. Whilst we drive there, let me just tell you some of the facts about this tank in a voiceover, because it's probably hard to hear what I'm saying over all the wind noise and the clattering of the tank. It's called an Alvis Sabre Light Tank. If the name Alvis sounds vaguely familiar to you, it may be because they started out building cars in England in 1919. Alvis would build regular cars, luxury cars, racing cars and aircraft engines before diversifying into military vehicles. Based on the 51-mile-an-hour Scorpion model, the world's fastest tank, the Sabre was a hybrid vehicle in the Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance, or CVRT class, which combined the hull of the FV-107 Scimitar with the turret of the FV-721 Fox. Power comes from a 4.2 litre Jaguar J60 engine coupled to a 7-speed David Brown TN15D transmission, or to you and I, the engine's essentially from a Jaguar E-type. The Sabre holds a crew of 3, which included a commander, a driver and a gunner. Today I've been sitting in the gunner's chair. And that particular gun, or cannon should I say, is a 30mm L21A1 Radon. How the hell do we fuel this up? Nicely done. About the roundabout, Joe, just go straight over it, mate. So here we are then, we've got the Alvis out in the farmland here where it is at home, and this is where you can get an idea of the scale of things. You noticed on the road earlier that it's actually narrow enough to drive down those B roads that we're on, and then substantial enough when you get off-road. What have we got then? At the top of the turret either side we've got smoke grenades. So the idea of this vehicle is a reconnaissance vehicle, as I've said before. So that means that this would scurry off, go and check out the scenes, and then could come back and report back. It wasn't really sent in to go and fight the fight, as it were. What they would do is, if they got into some trouble, create a smoke screen, and then they could reverse out as quickly as they went in. This is something that's quite cool as well. We've got this rack here with the wires on it, and what the tanks would do is sit up at 2 points and run the cables, the comms cables between them, so the enemies couldn't interfere or hear what they were saying over radio. They could just do it directly. Now this top section, as you see, will spin round 360 degrees. So wherever you want to fire the cannon or the gun, you can spin round. The gunner, who sits on the right hand side, controls all of that. The captain is to the left, and then the driver is down here at the front, right underneath where that Gatling gun is. So if you're there, you really do need those ear defenders on. And the other thing that the boys have told me about this is that when the shells exit, now there's a little flap, you can probably just see it just above the gun there, the shells exit and fly out of that onto the gunner. So probably if you were firing that, you'd close this little hatch here to protect yourself from getting those burning red hot shells falling on top of you. The engine is here at the front, the Jaguar 4.2 litre engine, and then we've got the side exit exhaust. Look at the size of this thing, all the way down the side of the tank. Now if you take a look inside now, you'll see what it's like for those three crew members, the driver, the commander and the gunner. The driver has the added bonus of the fact that when his hatch is closed, his seat actually goes all the way down, so he's almost lying flat in there. And if you're going to be in there for any amount of time, that's probably the best and most comfy seat to have. The gunner actually then has the second best seat really, and the commander unfortunately has the least amount of legroom and probably is finding that his feet are kicking into the driver at the front there, so it is quite squashed there. On top of the turrets there you can see the lookout, so where the captain is positioned he's got 360-degree lookouts and you can sort of see the mirrored reflection from that, so he gets the best view. When we say no ordinary auction, we really mean it. To see more of this tank and a whole load of other collectibles, head over to collectingcars.com. Believe me, you'll see anything but ordinary.